African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command in combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation on the 2nd of May, 2024. The armed forces of the Russian Federation continue to conduct a special military operation. Units of the North Group of Forces inflicted damage on concentrations of manpower and equipment of 5 mechanized brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces and 2 territorial defense brigades in the areas of the settlements of Zapselye, Mogritsa, Yunakovka, Ugroedy, Velykyi Prikol, and Miropolskoye in Sumy Oblast that the Ukrainian Armed Forces lost up to 220 servicemen, an armored combat vehicle, 16 vehicles, and 6 artillery pieces. 2 ammunition depots were destroyed. As a result of active actions, units of the West Military Group liberated the village of Kamenka in the Kharkiv region. Defeat was inflicted on formations of 3 mechanized assault brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces and 2 territorial defense brigades in the areas of the settlements of Ugroedy, Moskovka, Senkovo, Kupiansk in the Kharkov region, Novoy, Yampol, and Kirovsk in the Donetsk People's Republic. That the enemy lost over 240 servicemen, 8 vehicles, and 3 field artillery pieces, including 2 produced by NATO countries. The Quartus electronic warfare station and 6 ammunition depots were destroyed. The units of the Southern Group of Forces took up more advantageous lines and positions. They defeated the manpower and equipment of 3 mechanized and airmobile brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces and 2 territorial defense brigades in the areas of the settlements of Chasov Yar, Petrovka, Serebryanka, Seversk, Ryalexandrovka, Konstantinovka, Katerinovka, Dalivka, and Pleshchevka of the Donetsk People's Republic. Ukrainian Armed Forces lost up to 230 servicemen, 2 armored combat vehicles, including a U.S.-made M113 armored personnel carrier, 2 pickup trucks, and a field artillery gun. 2 ammunition depots were destroyed. Units of the Center Group of Forces improved their tactical position. They defeated formations of 2 heavy mechanized, 3 mechanized, or Ranger brigades, an assault regiment of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, and 2 brigades of the National Guard in the areas of the settlements of Miropolskoye, Lysovka, Novaya Poltavka, Ulyanovka, Tarasovka, Bogdanovka, Uspanovka, and Udaknoye of the Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy lost over 375 servicemen, 2 armored combat vehicles, 2 cars, and an Israeli-made Rada radar station. Units of the East Group of Forces continued to advance into the depths of the enemy's defense. They defeated the manpower and equipment of 2 Ranger brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and 2 territorial defense brigades in the areas of the settlements of Guliapol, Chervon in the Zaporizhia region, and Novopol in the Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy's losses amounted to 170 servicemen, 2 armored combat vehicles, 4 cars, and 3 artillery pieces. Units of the Dnieper Group of Forces defeated formations of 2 coastal defense brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces and 3 territorial defense brigades in the areas of the settlements of Kamenskoye in the Zaporizhia region, Belozerka, Tokarevka, Nikolskoye, and Dniprovskoye in the Kherson region. The Ukrainian Armed Forces lost up to 75 servicemen, 3 vehicles, a field artillery gun, and an electronic warfare station. Operational tactical aviation, strike unmanned aerial vehicles, missile troops, and artillery of the groups of troops of the Armed Forces of the Russian Federation have hit ammunition depots of the Ukrainian Armed Forces units, as well as temporary deployment points of Ukrainian armed formations in 154 districts. Air defense systems destroyed 3 U.S.-made JDAM guided air bombs and 234 aircraft-type unmanned aerial vehicles. In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, the following have been destroyed: 661 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 54,179 unmanned aerial vehicles, 605 anti-aircraft missile systems, 23,071 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,553 multiple launch rocket system combat vehicles, 24,224 field artillery guns and mortars, 34,689 units of special military vehicles. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.